been bugging us all our lives. And one of those things which rank right on top of those bugs is just what we heard some time back. We do things, but we do it in a way because we have to do it. We all went to school. Of course, we went to school. Who doesn't love going to school? I love going to school. You know which part of it? The journey to school. School got over the moment I reached the gates of it. And sometime or the other, it always happens to us. So what I tried to do was that ask a few questions. And first of all, when you ask those few questions, you sort of feel free to ask those questions, right? That's what school is supposed to do. That's what you generally go to a different place, or you go to a different community, or you meet different people to enhance your very existence, to enhance your very experience of living that day. So I just went back in time to my memories of school and tried to figure out what were the words that came to my mind if I just went on a brainstorming session of what does school stand for me. Here it was. Ta-da! No, don't. That's a silly, stupid question. The sun is always yellow, so color it. So this was art and creative classes. Why not? Why not? Of course, sun is supposed to be yellow. Well, this was what is used to happen. This still happens, and there are so-called very many international schools where it happens in an international standard. So they don't say, color the sun yellow. They say, color the sun yellow. Do you get it? So, So time passed on, and thankfully all my teachers had taught me well enough. And sometime later, I joined a design school where some selection committee members made some serious mistakes of their lives, so I got in. And some of the things started transforming over a period of learning there. And what used to be no's became yeses, or at least why not. What used to be silly, stupid questions became interesting questions. What used to be called like stand up when you're supposed to stand became known as discipline, became a process, and a lot of things evolved in their own ways. For example, we all knew that the sun was supposed to be yellow or golden or bright red when it was setting, but then they said that, yeah, the sun is up, now color it your way. So, what was it that was taking shape was thinking. We were being led to think. And I thought it was unfair on my part to let myself have enjoyed all those privileges of learning from such wonderful methods of sharing, of experiencing the world around me, and then coming to my own conclusions. So a time came around 5 or 6 years after I had spent in that institute, where I had the opportunity to make a film. As a animation film design student, each one of us are supposed to make films. So I had an opportunity to make the film, and to make the film, I thought there is a question that we need to ask. And here is the question I asked.
Now, the basic understanding of the basic building and calculation of Americans of the thing I don't write in your bit. Now, the basic... Americans of the thing I don't write in your bit. Calculation of Americans of the thing... Right!
Right. So, as you must have guessed, in school when I was a student for the 12 years of my life, I continued to remain the most outstanding student in the history of the school because most of the time I stood outside the class, punished. So all those days were over, and I thought it doesn't just make sense to make one film and forget about it. I have been presented by my educators and my teachers who really taught me well to understand that there is a tool which expresses. There is a way of thinking by which you can really let your imagination come out. You can think in different ways to express what is going on in your mind. And I thought it's very important to share that tool with as many as I could. So I thought it's important for me to take workshops and interact with as many students as I could. So over the next 6 or 7 years, I continued doing a lot of hands-on exercises with students whenever I could make time out of my commercial commitments. But the good part of the thing was that this was not just to train people to understand clicking of a certain button, whereby there is one machine sitting in front of another machine trying to operate each other. No, the idea was to get the sense of doing things by using the senses. And thinking begins out here. This is something I again experience when I'm teaching students of animation these days. When I ask them, so where do you have done a walk cycle? They say, yes. So where do you start making the walk happen? They say, from the legs. Wrong. You think about walking and then you walk. So it begins out here. The same thing goes there. You think about doing something, that is why you do it. And that was the same idea I tried to communicate to as many students as I could, as many children as I could, by making them do things by hand. Think from here, do by hand. These would yield wonderful products which they had never imagined. And believe me, what it takes, all it takes is the junkyard. It's one of the best resources that we all have. Don't we junk out so many things every other day thinking that it's not worth it? All these things that you see here are made out of junk, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. After having done a lot of these exercises using small little elements, I thought, at the end of the day, what is it that really moves us? Why do we make a film? It's the story inside it that makes us move. So let's invite people to share their stories. And who are these people? They shouldn't be more than 12 years of age. So we started conducting workshops with the help of Toons Animation India in Trivandrum, who have been great supporters in this program. We started conducting workshops for children whereby we invite the best stories that they've thought of, but their stories, not a story that they've loved watching or loved reading. Their stories. What do they want to say? And they were surprised and stunned by the kind of excitement that was generated through it and the kind of conscious effort that was put in by each of these people each of these tiny little kids who came in by the age of 8, 10, 11 years old. They would send in stories which had matters of consequence, as they say. So it was not just about a fantasy. If there was a superhero, there was a superhero with a mission, and a mission that we all have been discussing right since today morning. So we said this is a very good opportunity. Let's inculcate these habits that are coming out of kids and see what can be done with them. So I conduct these small 5-day workshops in which we forget school, forget chemistry, physics, biology, nothing, and concentrate on everything. And that is what life is all about. So for the 5 days, we become storytellers, painters, actors, performers, critics, crews, animators, musicians, just name it. If nothing else, garbage collectors. We would love to do that because we want to collect the garbage that is coming out of homes because they contain our resources, which we can make things of wonder. So these are sessions that we conduct. And within these 5 days, these kids pick up things like anything, it doesn't take rocket science to learn storyboarding for a film. Believe me, it's as simple as that. And it's funny, yet we don't have very good animation films with good storyboards in it. But these kids were wonderful at it. At the age of 9 or 10, they would come up with wonderful, wonderful imagery, camera movements, and everything that makes a film work the way it is. And thereby, the child gets to become a director of a film of his or her own voice to be heard by the rest of the world. As you see, superheroes get created, but every tiny little detail has to be taken into the utmost consideration. There is no playing around with it. When Sumit Sen, the creator of Green Man, the film that you see there, the images from there, he had specific instructions for whoever was going to be animating the film that I want this to behave in this manner. I want the colors to be exactly like that because this is the reason. So everything was being justified by an inquiry from within. And this is what this workshop attempts to promote. We request every parent, every teacher to raise this voice of inquiry within the students, and that is why we go to school. We don't go to school to learn things that are printed. We go to school to get experienced. We go to school to experience the world in a new way, to reflect off on things that we see. So this is what was made. Now I would like to show you the film that there are several films that are made, by the way. This is one of those films called Green Man, the superhero, most authentic superhero so far created in India. I hope so. Let's watch what Sumit Sen, the 10-year-old boy's superhero Green Man did.
In the main news, Green Man has saved innocent lives from yet another lava monster attack. But he has warned the citizen that pollution of the water and the air is making this monster more and more powerful, day by day. It is impossible, he said, to stop this monster unless we stop polluting. We stop polluting. We stop polluting. We stop polluting.
great fun because it's much more beyond just making things move, as they say. You know, there's a stories to be told, and I'm sure it's not just making things in animation that you really need to get things told. These can be comic books, this can be posters, this can be illustrations. The only thing that is required is there an alternate way of making us grown-ups think when the children can tell so many things to us? That's so much worth it. You remember 1998, there was a question that was asked. I think the answers are somewhere here. Yes, of course, the flowers do fly when we let them discover their wings. Thank you very much for your attention.
Good morning. I thought, the film industry is just raiding our IT professionals. Now it looks like you're raiding our schools as well. So who's the youngest, how old is the youngest employee that you have?
Me?
Wow.
Well, no, I think I do not run a studio. I am an independent professional writing films, working with children and things like that. So, yeah, I think age is not an issue actually, because we just need to reach out and provide options, so that the schools can also adapt certain design methodologies in their teaching, so that even in the smallest ways there is a process. For example, if I have to answer a question, let me have a solid question to answer, not just a formula to rectify and let's apply things.
Thank you so much.